No, 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 no. Yeah, I'll open some.
Whoa.
Okay.
All
Okay,
right.
what are you guys doing here?
Welcome back to the Daily Motion Show, the show where we talk about motion design, sometimes go through our projects, sometimes roast your work, and sometimes highlight your work. You know, that's the gist of the show. It's Wednesday, but it's basically our
dudes.
Friday because tomorrow
Yeah.
we will
Oh,
be
wow.
flying to the Dominican Republic for our first review team retreat for a week. I'm very excited. It's going to be great. Also, Noah, you might notice from the stream, I am looking somewhat more dapper today than usual. I've got my nice leather jacket and my white shirt with my gray pants going on. You know, that's happening. And because I saw Imseti sent a video earlier of when he was shooting some B-roll, man's got a collared white shirt on and stuff. So I'm like, no, we can't have this situation happening.
Are we all being dapper
So
today?
we're all just gonna dap it the fuck up, you know? It'll be great.
You look kind of dapper.
We're having
Let's
a good
see.
time.
I had a cool outfit on the other day. I might pull that one out.
Go cray. Go stupid.
But yeah. It's gonna
Anyway,
be cute for sure.
we're doing a fun thing today. I mean, feel free to, we'll answer questions that are in the chat and all that stuff as per usual. But we're gonna be going through one of our old projects, and when I say old, as in like within the past 6 months project. It's gonna be cool. It's a project it's a conference opener that we did for Keller Williams for their Mega Agent Camp conference, and it's a good time. There were lots of things and hiccups with that project that we had to figure out along the way. Lots of fun stuff that we can dive into. It'll be a good time. And then aside from that, link in the description, as you guys know. Submit your work in there for critique. We'll do some crits after we look through that. And then, of course, our Rex of the day. That all being said, Sebastian in the chat, are you ready for motion liftoff? Are you ready for us to motion script today? Because that's what's going to happen. It's going to be cool.
Yeah.
But anyway, he says Indiana Bowens, which I will take that because I also did think that this morning.
Indiana Bowens.
Like Indiana Jones.
Oh.
I
was
definitely
like,
have that going on without the hat. No, I
some
really
generalization
love
from Indiana.
I really
What's
love
happening?
the state of Indiana. It's one of my favorite places.
Great
I don't
state.
know that I've ever been there, but okay, here we go. The Daily Motion Show, but not the Daily Motion Show. It says, would you accept a trainee who knows Illustrator, Photoshop, After Effects, Cinema 4D, of course with design and animation, with 2D character and expression with JavaScript, but without experience in the field? Because I spent and that's where it ends. Well,
Well, very tempting, but
tempting
we're not,
for an intern, but we're also we're not open for that right now. So, but if that changes in the future, you'll know because we'll have posted it everywhere, just like we do to get you guys to watch this very show. That all being said, are you pulling up some of the? Actually, I can pull up just the like, hey guys, let's watch what we're gonna be going over today. Let me do
oh
that.
sure, yeah.
There you go.
That sounds good.
Let me,
I have the boards pulled up. I have the master file pulled up.
amazing, dude. There's so much cool stuff that we can go through. You know, it'll be such a good time. I'm so excited. I'm having such a good morning. I'm bringing the energy today. I feel it.
You are bringing the energy today.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Crazy
okay,
guy.
that's not
All right.
I am feeling crazy guy.
I'm feeling crazy. Jess, I feel crazy today. All right.
Okay.
Here's what we will be going through. Let's take a gander, shall we? My man Gary. And then it just sits there for a while. Dude, after looking at that one now, we absolutely rocked the house on the family reunion stuff. We should show that too, because that thing is bonkers by comparison to this now.
Ultimately, I thought that that's what we were going through, so I'm repulling some stuff
Oh,
up.
well, we can do that if you want instead. I don't know. I mean, that one is much more recent, but this one had a lot of interesting challenges and things we had to figure out. Like,
Let's go through this one. Let's go through this one
we'll
because
save that one for another day.
we'll save that one for next time. It'll be very exciting.
Fab. All right, are y'all ready? This is exciting stuff. As was this video. This played at a conference of over 8,000 people in person, 10,000 people if you include the folks watching on the live stream online. It was a good time. They had it in this big convention center in Austin, Texas. And basically the only goal was just, hey, make people excited. Just make people excited to be here. You know, we're not really trying to sell anything. People already have paid for this event. We're all just kicking it off on a high note. It'll be good. That's the gist. Now, just to set the stage, when we got this project sent our way, it was really strange. We'll get like agencies and a bunch of people hitting us up via our type form on our website. But usually it is something like an agency or it's somebody who wants to intern for us or whatever that's filling that out. And then we just get one email that's like, blank at kellerwilliams.com. I'm like, giant mega corporation. What the hell? Okay, just on our type form. That's fun. And so what we ended up getting was essentially a little debrief of what I just told you. Like, hey, this is what this is for. It's going to be playing at the beginning of this conference. We want everybody to be hyped up and excited to kick this event off. And what they gave us then was the creative, I think he's the post-production coordinator. That's our main point of contact. He gave us essentially this like sketched out version of a storyboard that he already had. And we ended up using some of the scenes that he had sketched out conceptually. Most of it, though, I think we kind of ended up going in a different direction, but that's kind of what they wanted, you know? So there's the stage. It's set. There was going to be no VO. We knew that. No script or anything. So it was really just like, make something cool. Make it interesting. Except we did have brand assets to use from them, like these arrows and little like sketched marks and stuff, as well as these like little extra guys in the back and this texture. Those were all things that were given to us. So we had to use them somewhere throughout the video. We had other things where like we had to include footage of previous conference and their main man, Gary Keller, somewhere in here. And also just like photos of some houses and things like that. So it was an interesting thing for us because we really hadn't included lots of photo and video and other projects beforehand. Osama says, what is the design reason to red with black and white? Those are their brand colors. So they wanted to limit it just to those, which, hey, I don't mind. This thing is sleek and sexy for that reason, I think. It was fun to just work with the three colors and nothing else. But I think that's enough of the context. Noah, do you have stuff pulled up?
Yeah, I think the After Effects file is still opening.
Okay.
Nope, there it is.
We have boards for this, right?
Yep, I have the boards up.
Fab! Tossing it over to you, my friend.
What's up?
Look at some of these sexy ass frames, though. Still some of my favorites that we've ever made.
So like there was a fair bit of influence in kind of what we could do. We couldn't go absolutely crazy, but some of the scenes are completely ours.
Yep.
And then this is one of the like sort of main style frames that helped lead the rest of the visuals. We knew we wanted some texture in there. We were kind of establishing what the orb could look like.
We knew we wanted an orb.
With that grain in there, of course.
Also because they also wanted an orb because they'd seen our stuff. So, you know.
And it kind of pops up and, you know, has its little light moment. And let's see, this scene was changed a lot because it was too semen-esque.
Yeah, there was some concern on their side about what that would look like.
This scene, I don't think made it in.
It was
these guys. It was gonna come from this chain and pull.
So
taut.
I was on vacation for part of this project, and we also had this other big project going on at the time, and so we didn't quite have the resources originally to like fully go in and just animate this. So we brought on a freelancer to work on this with us. And so Noah and I were designing these frames.
Right.
This is one of the first times where we were like, let's step outside of our comfort zone and like we can put some stuff in there that we might not necessarily know how to animate. some of these things, some of these perspective warps with these grids and things, we did not know how to do at that point. And so this shot was animated, but the freelancer that we worked with, it was just not ideal. We weren't getting the quality that we wanted. And so process wise, like we worked with the freelancer originally. Feedback rounds weren't going great. Like we just weren't getting the feedback that we gave accommodated. And then like we were having to be like, hey guys, it's going to be fine. Don't worry. But at a certain point, they're like, no, we're worried, you know, like the deadline's approaching. So like that was a whole thing to deal with. So what ended up happening is I think in the last like 2 weeks of the project, we had most of the video animated at this point. But it just was not up to Ruby standards, which is also why we don't really work with a whole lot of freelancers anymore. So it was basically just like, I don't even, how many hours did I work on some of those days, do you think? It was, some of those days were really, really long. I mean, like 16-hour days probably. But I basically went back in from the ground up and rebuilt every single scene for the video. And just reanimated the whole thing. So some of the shots, because that process was so hectic of being like, oh my God, I just have to rebuild this whole thing. Some of the shots just didn't make it in. I was just like, guys, it's not going to be worth it to do this shot. We already kind of have one. That's why we were able to tell them to take it out. Because if you look at that first shot, or like I think shot 3, 4, 5, sorry, that one where they're already all coming up and going through space anyway, it looks basically the same as that other shot. We just didn't realize it. It's just missing like that the 3D buildings that are popping up and like the grid behind it. But it's effectively the same motion. So we were like, there's no reason to do this twice, you know? So which actually saved us a lot of time because this scene would have been a little harder to animate. But anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself here. I think that's all the context now that needs to be given, and now we can just go through all the stuff. Jake,
and then we'll talk about Sam and Upsteady saving our pets.
God, yes. Jacob says, who made the sound design for this piece? Ron Rocco Audio, RONROCO audio.com. I believe that's what it is. You can look them up. They are fantastic to work with. We worked with them on a lot of our recent projects. They're just great guys. Their sound design's great. They work really fast, and it's affordable. It's good quality. Like it's everything we want. We're homies. It's a good time. Would highly recommend.
Absolutely.
Anyway.
You can see like some of the big changes. Like this house scene has changed and now has like a floor and more grain and more intrigue. These guys have grain in their shadows and stuff. This like city scene was reboarded a couple times.
And we still couldn't get it right. Like we never got it to feel perfect.
Yeah, I'm still not loving it.
I'm not either.
But it was, you know, it's one of those things where like the company has a vision, like they want to include certain things, like they want to include houses and they want to include whatever else.
Because for those of you that don't know, Keller Williams is a global real estate company. Yeah.
And you know, you can see that we got the city scene feeling a little better. We kind of incorporated photographic
that feels
elements.
A lot better than it does in the final.
Yeah. But, you know, revisions and timeline and all that stuff can sometimes deteriorate some scenes.
You want to talk about the orbs for a second and that process? Because, like, you made them in Photoshop and then we kind of reverse engineered and that sort of thing.
I feel like in some areas of our projects, this is an example of it. Like, because Austin and I are often doing so much, and at this time, this project was, at the beginning, it was just us and like a freelancer, and then it moved into like kind of crunch zone, and we brought City and Sam on to help, which was, I think, the first time we worked with them.
Yeah, it was.
And
it was the first time we talked to them.
Yeah, it was the first time we actually talked to them. What was I saying? Oh yeah. So like some elements like these orbs here require some amount of R&D that we couldn't quite like have time to put in because we were busy making all the frames and trying to manage the freelancer work and trying to also animate a bunch of stuff. And so it's helpful in that sort of quality control into the little things to have people to actually work with here. And so I think that the orbs didn't end up getting enough like TLC in development.
No, they did not. But we
Uh,
did get like an
but we did
interesting
get something
solution.
very interesting. It was like this sort of particle-y thing and spun around, and we what was the
So
final solution? You like exported a bunch of textures?
We made a test at one point. I think Noah was sitting in After Effects and just working with CC ball action and twist and like multiple variations of that with different colors to then like have that masked inside of the circle. And so we had that for one scene. Like I think you'd animated that first scene as a test just to see what it would look like. And you kind of got it working, but it was very much like catered toward that exact scene. It wasn't super replicable for the movement of the ball as it's going through some of these other scenes. That was the thing we were really struggling with, because my computer at the time was definitely not able to do those type of simulations easily. And with how much we were having this thing move around, it was going to be a mess. So what we ended up doing was I went back in at the very end of the project. We saved this till the very last step, despite it being our hero, which ballsy for us. But anyway, I went back in and used just like a couple iterations of CC ball action and just sort of like made everything a little bit lighter computationally. And then I just made like 6 different variations, or however many variations of that. I really don't know. I think I counted the number of orbs in the video, like different orbs, and then just like made all different patterns for that. So then I exported those as massive QuickTime files, with like full 4K, just particle sims, and then masked them, and then just like parented that QuickTime rectangular box to whatever orb was already sitting there, and then just masked it inside of it. And then I had to add like a null or whatever to try and get it to actually move with like how that ball would move if it was a 3D object. So essentially we just pre-baked all of the simulation that we had done, and I just hoped that it would look okay when we ended up including it. And it turned out all right. It, like, the one that Noah is showing there looks way more like the actual storyboard compared to like the ones we ended up being able to go with are a little bit more hollow. But there was just no way that we were going to have enough time render-wise or just like to be able to work with those files to be able to do this level of detail in those final renders. I mean, even with
like shading and stuff,
even with lightening it up, we were having, I think, final exports on this video, because there's a 4K export, of like 6 to 7 hours. I think one of the versions we had just had to go overnight. It was like 12 to 15 hours or something, and it just wouldn't get there.
Were long.
It took forever.
This is your file, I think, when you were making these orbs.
And so what I would do is I wasn't exporting them with transparency, because that was going to be terrible. But
yeah,
I kind of would
there
just
is like a dark solid here, and this is the thing that he exported, and
it was
4-second massive file.
But I think this was like my test to make sure it would look okay, and this was like the most detail I put into it. Like this is the best looking version by far, but I think for everything else I was purely just exporting like the actual particle comp. I don't even think I was exporting anything. I think I remember
we had like these dark comps
because
we had to just mask in and like move to different sections.
There were some dark ones, or like I would use screen or something sometimes as the blending mode, but there were other times where I would just change the, you can actually see it down at the bottom. I've got one that's a red solid for the when it needs to be put on a red orb, and then I've got one that's a white solid somewhere in there that would make it so that you could put it on the white orbs instead. So we needed to have all of these like pre-made, and it took so long to get all of these sorted too. It was terrible. I mean, truly, like this project, it was entirely our fault. You know, like we put too much trust in working with a freelancer for the first time, working with that person, and had too many other projects going on to really juggle it. And we were very honest with Keller about that being the case. And I mean, I was working day and night to get this stuff done for them when it really came down to it. But man, like this plus the other project that we were doing at that time, August, September of last year, probably the most stressed out I've been on just like project stuff for us ever.
Yeah, this was probably the most stressful crunch on a project.
Yeah. And dun, 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 I mean, we had Ronell on the team at the time, but he wasn't able to do work like this. The After Effects skill set wasn't there for this type of work. And we also had Alex, but she was more so playing a like semi-producer role, more like directing the community stuff, so that wasn't really integrated well. But we just had done a challenge, one of the review challenges, the Glint one, like a week or two before we went through and like crowned the winner for that. Sonny Clark was the one who ended up winning that one. It wasn't even Sam and Umseti's group that won this, but because we had already worked with Ronell and Alex for a little while, Noah and I were more open to the idea of like, okay, but what if we can actually bring people onto the team? You know?
Yeah.
Like what can happen there? So this worked out perfectly because at a certain point, despite me working as fast as I could, I mean, you guys know I'm pretty speedy with this shit. At a certain point, I was like, I'm not going to be able to get this done. I'm not going to be able to get it done in time. And that would be fine if we were able to be like, hey, can we get an extension or whatever? But this is a conference that they've had planned for like a year. You know, they have the venue booked. They have all this stuff. It has to be done on that day. So we're like, I tapped out. I'm like, okay, I'm able to do this, but that is it. I'm not going to be able to get to anything else time-wise. And so we were like, okay, the group didn't win, but also like we know that Sam and Umseti are really, really good animators just from what they've submitted to the challenges. And we know that for this building scene in particular, we're going to need 3D. So Umseti would be great for that. And Sam would probably be able to like polish up a lot of this other stuff. So we just called them up for the first time, just made a little group of them. We're like, guys, we're desperate here. We have a 5-alarm fire going on, and we really, really need your help. We'd never talked to them before. But let me tell you, we'd talked to a couple freelancers throughout this time, you know, if we were hiring them for a project or something. And there was always a little bit of trepidation and kind of onboarding that had to happen at first. You know, like we had to calibrate them to how review works and whatever in the project and all that stuff. And there was always a lot of questions and a pretty big like start time. It took a lot of momentum to get going, you know. But Sam and Umseti in that call, it felt like they'd already been working on the team the whole time. Yeah. They were like, these are professionals, you know?
So fantastic. And we were like, we need this. I mean, every little change, we're like, hey, we need this to feel a little bit different, or we need this.
And we need it like now, you know?
They're like, done.
Yeah. Like, they're just like, okay, we'll do it. Like they were both so excited to be doing it. And we're like, oh my God.
Such a breath of fresh air.
This is amazing.
From, like, the people that we've, or some of the freelancers that we've worked with in the past.
Because like so on this project, one of the problems we were having with the freelancer we worked with originally was every piece of feedback we were giving was met with like, well, I guess I could do that, maybe. Like everything we said seemed like a major bother to this person, to where it was just like, what the fuck? I don't even know how to how are we gonna get this done? I don't know. But Sam and Umseti were really excited. They were there. They were working on this fun thing. They were genuinely having fun with it. And I don't know, it was just like such a solid fit that like as soon as we got off that call, or maybe even before we brought them on, and maybe it was more dastardly than like we thought, like maybe we planned it out, but at the very least, like right after that call, Noah and I talked and we were like, dude, if this works out, we're totally giving them an offer, you know?
Yeah.
Like we could see it working so well. Noah and I were so stressed out. We had way too much work on our plates, where it was a perfect fit, you know? So out of everything, this project was fantastic in terms of giving us that, you know? Like this project is a huge part of the reason that the review team is what it is today.
Yeah.
But anyway,
it's true.
That's the orb and all that stuff.
And I think a big reason why those render times were so long is because like you'll look at this file. Like, this isn't a bunch of QuickTime files. This is the master file full of actual animation.
Yeah.
Like, there are pre-comps.
It wasn't separated.
So many layers in here. Usually, what we do now is we'll export, like, our separate sections and put them in as QuickTime files into a master file.
Yep.
And next time you'll see an example of that when we go over the next Keller Williams project.
Yeah.
And render that, because that takes less time. It's already encoded. It's QuickTime.
And it's basically lossless because it's such a high quality export,
yeah,
you know?
Because it's ProRes 444, it doesn't lose any quality. You just put them in and it works, and you have the final audio in there too, so you can mix it properly and make sure there's no weird audio things from other people's exports. So you just mute all the files and it works. But this one, This one's just a bunch of animation.
Yeah,
This
because
one's
there was
like
just
so many layers.
there were too many, and I mean I can tell you why. Like there were just too many things that I had to keep going back and referencing and copying over. Like there were so many assets from each scene that I built that I needed to be able to like copy over to whatever new scene I was working on. You know, it was a mess. Like everything. Oh, that's fun looking now.
Oh. We're missing some
there was just
some files.
So much stuff that I had to keep referencing from previous comps and things, and it would have been such a pain to like make a new file, drag all the new stuff, or like drag all the old assets in, then make another file and do the same thing. Because at that point, I would have had to drag in the whole project anyway. You know,
Right.
It still would have been chunky monkey out here. CRX, AtorX, and Atharva both say, "Where is all your friends?" What do you mean?
Where is all your friends?
The Daily Motion Show has always just been me and Noah.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're asking about the rest of the team, Barbara's currently
two
in
of
Turkey.
them are planes. Oh, I guess Barbara's not on a plane right now. She's just in
Barbara's
Turkey.
in Turkey. Sam is at home waiting,
Having a great
tomorrow.
time.
Then Jackson's also at home. We're at
Jackson's
home.
at home.
And,
We're at home. You're at the office.
Msetti is flying. There you go.
So he's on a plane to
That's the
us
update.
at this very current moment. And we're going to go pick him up later this morning.
Yep. CRX
It's
also
gonna be
says,
exciting.
"What's your PC specs?" I have a, I believe it is a Ryzen 9 5900X. Is that it? I really can't remember. It's either that or a 5950. I can't remember. Plus a 10. Nope. I was about to say 1070. A 3070 Ti and 65 gigs of RAM. Sorry, 64. That's not how RAM works. 64 gigs. Yeah, that's it. No, it has basically the same thing.
I repurposed an old Texas Instrument calculator to run After Effects. So
that's how we get our nice grain on everything.
The engine block of a Honda Accord. So it's a calculator hooked up to a Honda Accord engine, hooked up to. I actually rent out a theater, so that's my screen. And then, of course, I use a trackball mouse, and my keyboard is an actual keyboard.
Oh.
So, you know.
Like you have keys that you have to turn for each letter to...
right. Control is A minor.
Nice. Nice. When you have a C, you just have to sing the C note. That's fun.
That's right.
That must get really confusing when you get to X and stuff like that, you know? How do you make that happen? You just like be silent and it knows?
They're just inverted chords and stuff, yeah.
Oh, okay. That's fair.
And diminished, you know, all that stuff.
Speaking of diminished,
rate my setup. Where are you going with this?
Dominican Republic.
Diminished.
This video is sponsored by the Dominican Republic.
Nice. So good segue. Good
we
segue.
should only do sponsorships with entire countries. That sounds good. Hey, Kamal says greetings from Turkey. Hey, you should go hang out with Barbara. She's hanging out there right now.
She's having a great time with your fast food.
She is.
She's a fast food where she lives.
Anyway, what else we want to talk about here? What are some key spots to note before we probably shouldn't take more than 10 more minutes on this.
Yeah, I agree. Mostly just big shout out to Msetti and Sam for kind of saving our asses.
It would not have happened without them, or it would have been bad. You know.
Also, shout out to Johan for helping us out with this.
Oh my God! Scene. Yeah, we had to call in.
He's fantastic, and he did a great job.
We had to call in the whole group of Avengers on this thing to get it done. Oh my God! We really do. Atharva says, "What can I do? I have 16 gigs of RAM and a 1660 Super graphics card, but my PC crashes when opening After Effects after some time."
I had the same Accord.
Yes, I had the same setup, except 32 gigs of RAM for a while. Just make sure you have your autosave on. That's really all you can do at a certain point. Also, clear your cache often.
Yeah,
clear your cache.
I had to do that when I opened this file
because otherwise it was
preview
like
stuff. I have another one.
That makes sense.
This little fella here. It's only at 7 right now. That's beautiful.
Anyway,
you can also increase your cache size in settings if you want.
If you have,
I set mine to 100 gigabytes right now.
Oh my God, you're crazy. I have mine just set to the amount of RAM I have, and that seems to work okay.
That's nuts. Yeah.
Because then theoretically, all of it could just be on the RAM. It could just be on RAM instead of sitting on an SSD or anything. Easy peasy.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Eventually, we'll have 128 gigs of RAM. It'll be good.
Yeah.
At some point. Except I actually think mine is totally full. So whatever. Anyway.
That's basically that project.
Oh my God. And Barbara is still here with the jokes. Amazing. What did a kinky grape say when somebody stepped on it?
That
whined.
felt grape.
It whined. I don't know. I haven't the slightest clue. Please do tell. Question, is it a green grape or a purple grape? Because that will heavily determine what this answer is.
Exactly. It wants you to hit it. It wants you to be tannin its hide. And that's a joke on tannins, which are found in wine.
Yes. Well, she'll get back to us at some point. It let out a little wine. See, yeah. Yeah.
Was it good? Yeah.
Okay, Barbara.
That's a good one.
Okay, Barbara. I wouldn't say it's as good as yesterday's.
I would say I'm imagining a purple grape.
Okay. That's fair.
What do you think?
Well, you can't really see the green grape juice all that well, so. Mateo says, can I keep cache in a drive different from the Windows one? Will it work properly? I do, and it works fine. Atharva says, do you have any channel or course recommendations to learn like you means where did you get all the knowledge? Well, I'm just a genius. So I just grew. I actually was born with After Effects knowledge implanted in my brain via ChatGPT. So no, I do enjoy. The first tutorial series that I ever watched was Tip Tut. They actually have a fully new beginner motion graphics series. I haven't watched it because why?
I watched a little bit of it. It seemed good quality.
I'm sure.
But
it's
I
good.
also when I first met Austin, I was like, what's all this? And he's like, I don't know, man. Go check out TipTut. And I was like, okay. And I watched some of that, and that was a great start. I was like, okay,
it's really helpful because unlike most tutorials, that guy won't handhold you. He'll actually make you have to learn it. You don't just get to sit there and pause and figure out all the values he's putting in. You have to experiment for yourself. And that's what I needed because that's the only real way to learn. If you're just copying what everybody else is doing, you're not learning jack shit. Anyway, other than that, practicing all the time. Or as much as you can, and consuming as much motion design as you can. I used to watch Motion Reel, like just typing it on Vimeo, Motion Reel 2019, Motion Reel 2020, whatever. Put in the year and then Motion Reel, you'll find so many examples of work. That's the way to do it. Surround yourself with the stuff you're trying to learn. There's not going to be one easy solution. Mateo says, the Daily Show is now my daily basis. That's right. Daily Motion Show. Add it to your routine, everyone. DMS. Slide in our DMs, you know?
Yeah. Come on with all that.
Anyway. All right. Anything else you want to highlight here?
I think we probably could have spent more time working on this texture. It is quarter quality, so that's why it looks weird.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like there's all these little polishing areas that we could have done a little better on. But I'm happy with the result, and the client was happy, and that's what really matters.
Yep. They were over the moon with this, despite all of the hiccups we had during the process. I mean, it got everybody really excited at the event. It was received really, really well. So we did our job. They were so over the moon with it, in fact, that they wanted to work with us on basically their version of the Super Bowl, their big conference that just happened last weekend. So I think, as prep for the next time we go through one of these, we'll probably do it sometime next week.
This is not pre-conference company.
Good God.
Oh my Lord.
As getting people excited for next week when we do another project breakdown, let's show them the most recent one that we did. Never before seen, unless you work for Keller Williams, in which case you saw it. But
that's true. That's true. Oh my God, yeah.
Never before
just literally haven't seen this.
Very recent review project. I'm going to get it pulled up. It'll be great. Everyone will have a good time. Atharva says, is there any challenges coming? No, and I need to film an announcement video for it, but we're trying to get one out this week sometime. It might happen next week, though, with all of our travel and stuff. But we'll figure it out. Don't you worry.
We could do like a little beach theme and film one on the beach. That'd be fun.
That would be fun. Can you answer other questions while I'm finding this stuff?
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Any tips on how to become master in making complex scenes and sequences? Like center object turns 3D scene with bottom grids and a whole crazy vibe. It's kind of emergent. Like as you work on progressively more complex shots and board more interesting innovative scenes, you'll kind of get a feel for what can be done and then kind of push the envelope there. And I mean, sometimes we'll board stuff that we don't know how to do, but we'll just trust ourselves and we'll figure it out. I think that's the secret. Like, people who do the really complex stuff are just good at figuring stuff out. They don't already know how to do that stuff. You know what I mean?
Yep.
They just have a really solid foundation of what can be done and the tools that they use to figure it out and the creative tools that they use to concept it in the first place. So, I mean, it's kind of just practice, honestly, and make sure you, of course, intake a lot of great motion, which is part of why we're here every day to give you Rex every day. Good motion for your eye holes. You're welcome.
Now, on to the main attraction here. We will break this one down sometime next week, hopefully.
You're giving a preview.
I'm just gonna show it, and then we'll just actually talk about it next week.
Can you share it on Discord so I can be
shared.
excited too?
Don't you worry.
God, that's great.
It's already there, man. All right, here we go. This played on a screen that was longer than a football field with 20,000 people in attendance last weekend. Should that just be our rec of the day? I don't even know if we need to show anything else, honestly.
These guys are pretty at the end.
It's pretty fucking awesome looking back at it now. I know we were kind of tired of it after working on it for a while, but I don't know. It gave me a little oomph. Gave me some shivers a little bit, you know? I know that Barber scene really took a second to like get right. But I think it might be one of my favorite scenes in the entire thing.
Yeah, I love that scene. I love that scene so much.
It's so good, man. Do you want to watch it? Do you want to watch it one more time? I kind of just want to watch it one more time. Let's watch it one more time, okay? I feel bad that we didn't swap in Setty's updated thing.
Dude, I thought that it was, and I'm so sad that it's not.
Because I know
the very first scene looks even better.
It's so much better, I think.
Yeah.
Damn it, man. Again, chills. My little beard hairs are sticking out. Dude. Rocks my socks. I'll tell you that much.
Rocks my socks.
Sheesh.
That's
anyway,
pretty darn cool.
That's what you get for hanging on in the Daily Motion Show. You get to see the stuff that we haven't posted yet.
We'll be analyzing. That's what we'll be going through. Probably not next week, but the week after.
I know y'all want to know how to make that hero. I know you want to know. I know you want to know how those arrows were done.
I will show you how
all about that stuff.
Exactly, I made that hero. I'll show you it.
Come on,
that was a strange little rig.
And hey, most of the projects I've seen so far have been just like portion of the Ravi team, like a small portion working on them.
That was everyone.
That was the whole thing. And we have another project that like the whole team was working on. Ravi's real fucking strong. It's crazy. Okay, that's all. I am baffled by the stuff we're able to make now. Anyway, cool. So we'll be taking a look at that.
We got about 10 minutes to review some work. Let's do one or two.
Okay, I have 3 pulled up, but we can go through them quickly because 2 are show reels, so it should be relatively easy.
Great.
With all that in mind, now that we're all primed and ready with some awesome shit, let's keep the train going with some awesome things to critique. I'm ready.
That's
I'm ready.
Right.
Do you think that was the direction I was going to go in with that statement?
Do it.
Who's to
Yes,
say?
absolutely.
All right, here we go. Here we go, everybody. This first one is a demo reel, 2020 demo reel from Andre Vialba. Here we are. 1:30. Ooh, all right. We'll see how that holds up.
When was this from?
2020. 3 years ago. When would you have guessed it was from?
Probably 2012.
I was around like 2013, 2014, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I had the same thought.
Yet again, 45-second mark. I'm telling you, it doesn't need to be longer than 45. Like, ever. There's almost no excuse for it.
Yeah. I wonder how long MA's reel is. The one that we really like. Which, by the way, I think I might just make one of my recs. Wait, have we already done that one?
No, I don't think so. It definitely will get a copyright strike, but it's okay. The last like 6 episodes have, so whatever.
This is getting a copyright strike too.
Probably. I mean, I kind of hope not, but I don't know.
Theirs is only 1 minute 8 seconds.
Yeah, but they also have the cinematic thing going on at the beginning, which they could honestly cut out, but it makes it feel really good once it's a good payoff. First thing I'll say, if you're gonna have this title in here down at the bottom, I almost didn't even notice it, but also the type is really hard to read. I wish I could get this YouTube thing out of here, but I can almost barely read that even says 2020. You know?
Yeah.
It looks like it could be 2022 or 2023 or something. I really have no idea. Also, that magenta is like real harsh.
All these colors are very strong.
Main piece of feedback, because I'm not going to go in and critique every piece of work that's in here, because that would, that'll take a hot second. But overall, every single one of these shots could have been like half the length that it is. I kind of got the point after the first like half second of each of these shots. I don't need to see the entire scene of each of these. I get the gist of what's going on. And then, I mean, you noticed it whenever I checked the timeline down here. You totally could have gotten away with just doing 45 seconds. The rest of the stuff that happens after here feels very similar to all the stuff that happened in the first 45 seconds. There's really no reason to like keep going on with that. You don't have to show everything that you've ever done in a reel, And I'm sure this isn't even everything you've ever done, but still could be shortened quite a bit, I think.
Yep.
Any other thoughts other than that? I kind of feel like it has the general idea. It's also not super well timed to the music. It kind of just...
a lot of the work, I mean, it's kind of hard to be like, I am going to critique all the work, but a lot of it does kind of feel kind of old. And I get that clients be clients, but...
Well, and not just clients be clients, but also like the trends are very like... It's kind of like how trends fall from college to high school to middle school, Trends take a while to get throughout the world, So
true.
I think it makes a lot of sense with the like clients and stuff that are on here. But
yeah,
I
see that.
If you're like able to make the stuff that's being like cutting edge or whatever in the States or something, then I would assume you dominate this market,
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I don't really have anything else to say about it.
Yeah, I think I'm good.
Cool.
Boom
Thank
roasted.
you, Andre Boom Roasted. I hope that was
Thank
helpful.
you very much.
Here we go from Ahmed Khalaf. Only 30 seconds. It's a 30-second show reel. All right, I'm ready.
Okay, that's epic.
That was giving me Pickle Zone flashbacks. Okay. Despite being 30 seconds, I kind of wish there was more work in here to make each of those shots a little bit shorter as well. Like, I think we could have gotten away with like 20 seconds on this one.
You gotta get faster cuts with your reel. I think
they're watching so many. You gotta understand.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta
you're trying
make
to
it
show
interesting.
all the cool stuff that you're doing and like really drag them along for the ride.
Which
I feel
also,
like people,
on that note,
yeah,
out of the 30 seconds, you spent 10% on just the year scaling up towards the camera, you know? Like, this just sits for too long. You're not getting into the actual work until like the 4th second. And even then, with this, why would you not put like this shot first? I feel like you saved the best work until like the very end, you know? And the stuff at the beginning just kind of, I don't think is the best stuff out of the reel.
Yeah,
know.
I agree with that.
Anything else there really? I guess that would be it for me. Maybe if you're a freelancer, have like an email that they can contact directly on here or something, but that's kind of personal preference.
Yeah, no, I think you covered everything.
Cool. Boom! Roasted. Thank you, Ahmed Khalaf. Where is my... Oh, damn it. Those are my recs. Oh, this one. Okay, sorry. I missed it because it was on Instagram. From Ayub. He was inspired by the loops. Here, this actually, I need to refresh it. It's not the thumbnail.
I like what it looked like. Okay, here we go.
Main piece of feedback. Everything feels very like you've got the composition and you took a nail and just nailed it right to the center of the frame, you know? I would love to see some sort of like lateral movement or up and down like transition in between scenes. Everything looks pretty here, but when it's just continuing to kind of be this thing sitting in the center, it's just missing some extra dynamicism. I don't know. It doesn't feel as dynamic as it could be.
I will say that last transition into the spinning shiny fella is great, and then into the word is pretty all right too.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of speed in the transition needs to be, I think, brought into the first few scenes. Like when it moves up, it feels really like sticky.
It's chewy. It's chunky.
It's chewy. I like the design, especially on this first part. I think that's really fun. It just needs a little bit like snappier motion, I think.
Yeah.
Also, I noticed that it was kind of, apart from that like last transition, maybe, it was not timed to the music, and I think that would add a lot.
Yeah, it's missing some of those key moments. Could really use just being like hand in hand with the music, like really tying that movement to the sound a bit more.
Yeah.
And also on some of these, if you're gonna keep it in the center, give it some extra overshoot or something. Like let it go a little bit further than it should. Like here, these don't need to necessarily be like perfectly straight on. You know, it kind of would have been nice to have them like all of this on a null and it just slightly rotates over further a little bit from where it should. You know, just so it feels like it's, at least that way it feels like it's actually nailed into the center, you know, and it feels like it can continue spinning or something a little bit.
I like your animation of the grid. I also think that those pillars, I guess, that it's on at the very beginning could use a little bit of extra movement in that.
Oh, true.
You could have a little bit of like fake 3D.
Yeah, they're already sitting there. You might as well have the like more shapes off to the side here that you can scroll through with or something. I don't know how I didn't notice that. I mean, you get it on some of
you
those.
Have it.
Like
you have it
when
right
it
at
splits
the end.
apart. Yeah, like
it splits apart, and then the bottom one has
a
fake 3D rotation. Like that.
Like that's
should
really
be brought
cool.
in earlier, you can have it rotate back and forth, and a little bit of extra movement.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But boom, roasted. Thank you, you. Very nice.
Thank you. That's very
nice.
Helpful.
Atharva says, "Are there any challenges coming soon?" We talked about that like 10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Go back in the stream and you'll find that. They also say, "What's your highest paid client?" Can't say who it is, but our biggest project so far has been 75,000. Okay. Anyway, with that, on to Rex. I'll go first, I guess, since I already have this pulled up. Here we go. Here's one that I saw this morning. I thought it was really cool. It's a newer studio, I think, called The Little Labs, and it just, by golly,
Aww. Dude, this is cute, man.
And it's for them, like, helping to educate clients on what sort of styles might work best for them, and essentially creating like a style matrix sort of thing.
Yeah, that's
which
cool.
I think is cool. I've seen a lot of studios doing this recently, doing like client educational things. But anyway, be sure to check that out. It's only got 28 likes. I think that's criminal. I think it's very cool.
Yeah,
anyway,
that's very neat.
got this other one from Ishan. You put on
Yeah.
yesterday. He's been doing a lot of stuff with photography and videography recently.
And it's all really nice.
It just has a very particular vibe to it, you know?
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. Ooh, that's cool. It just has so many of those moments of like, ooh, that's cool.
Yeah. I'm surprised he hasn't just made music videos at this point. Like, this is perfect for like a lyric video type thing. Okay, Ishan, I'm gonna give you some feedback here. This could have ended at the 60-second or 45-second mark. But anyway.
Ooh.
Okay, but that last bit's cool. Why didn't you bring that in?
That's very
earlier?
cool.
Like, what the hell? Come on. Anyway, there's that, and I have one more,
That's awesome.
I promise, and it's actually a really short, easy one.
He, real quick, Ishan, oh, this is neat. His recent, he did a little reel about like this greenhouse, and I love like almost every shot in there. It's so beautiful. Check out his Instagram, yeah.
This guy makes just really pretty gradient things. I mean, you can go to his profile. It's like all that he does are just like really interesting glows and gradients and stuff. I mean, boy,
That's
Breen,
pretty.
almost at 10K. Come on.
Ooh.
So close, you know?
Get him there. Get him there.
So close. Anyway, those are my recs. No, do you have your recs? We got
I
5
have
minutes.
I have my Rex.
Oh my God.
Oh,
he's
I
got
gotta
his
share
recs.
it with you on this.
Oh yes, yes you do. You gotta share it with me on this.
On this. There you go. All right, Austin, I am gonna play this, and then you're gonna tell me what it's an advertisement for. It might say it in it, but I'm not sure.
Is it cigarettes?
No, condoms. This is for condoms.
What?
I know. I love.
It looks like either
stuff.
basketball or cigarettes. I don't.
These are condoms.
I really have no idea.
Isn't that kind of sick as hell?
Yeah. Also, I just got something we'll need to chat about before the thing. So.
Okay.
Zippy
Anyway, that's by 27 Design. Some really great stuff. I really like that. This is the Massive Assembly reel. This is probably
It's what got me interested in continuing to look at reels.
This is
during high school.
probably also in my top 5 videos. There's a lot of photography and cinematography in here, but it's just so good. Check it out.
Cool.
Rule 101.
It's not even like I still have critique for this at the beginning, but like it really pays off when it gets into.
Hit the drummer.
Yeah. Come on.
Like, that hits you in the chest, you know?
It's so fucking cool, man.
Boom!
It's so well paced. None of the animation is like absolutely groundbreaking. It's just beautiful in pacing and execution. It's just fantastic, real, incredible stuff.
It's a good one. And on that note, be sure to use hashtag Daily Motion Show in your posts on social, and we just might show it as our Rex of the day. And also,
That's right.
link in the description to submit your work for critique like we did today. We will see y'all tomorrow. Goodbye.
Peace.